Hello, my Fae friends, and welcome to the Writing Warriors blog hop. I believe there's a specific name for what we're supposed to call it, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it is. Hold on. Let me look it up here. Oh, I have no idea. Anyway, it's basically a blog hop that we're doing. We're going from one blog to another, all of us talking about the same thing. I'll have the links to everyone's videos or blog posts down below, so you can take a look and see what exactly it is we're going on about. Today, I'm going to be introducing myself and what genres of fiction I enjoy. So that's something to look forward to. I am Nicole Christopherson. I was born in Deming, New Mexico in 1989 and May 28th. So for those of you who are into horoscopes in the audience, I'm a Gemini. Two-faced, that's me. I grew up moving around a lot, so I was never really in a very steady home position. I greatly enjoyed moving around, learning new things, living in new places, meeting new people. It was all quite spectacular, really, to me, and it taught me a lot about how to live my life. So thankfully, there's that. I honestly got started writing when I was 14. I was encouraged by my mother to write in journals, in my book of shadows. I was encouraged to write poetry to the point where I no longer write poetry because it was just awful. I was encouraged to write just about anything, really, and I wrote the most awful stories. They were so much power plays. They were fantasies. Um, it was quite educational. I learned a lot from those beginning stories, as angst-ridden and teenager-y as they were. Um, And since then, I have chosen to write as a career. I intend to publish, and eventually I will be a household name like J.K. Rowling or Stephen King or Neil Gaiman. Any of the above. I will be that person. And I'm kind of glad that I can attempt to do that because I love stories. I really do. And I don't ever want to stop telling them. So there's that. That's my introduction. I now am going to tell you a little bit about my favorite genres. The stories that I read, the stories that I write, the stories that matter to me. The first one should be one you probably realized. Fantasy. I really love fantasy. Anything to do with another world, anything to do with a whole change in the world around us, anything to do with fantasy. Elves, dwarfs, mountains filled with gold and dragons, flowers that sing songs, anything that has to do with fantasy is a huge turn on for me as far as literary loves go. Another is I really enjoy Regency era romances. I'm a bit of Jane Austen, Georgette Heyer. Right now I'm reading a book by Sarah E. Ladd, and it is just amazing. It's called The Heiress of Winterwood. And I read a couple of her other books, and they are just fantastic. If you have any interest whatsoever in historical fiction of the Regency era, read Sarah E. Ladd. She is amazing. That's Sarah with an H, E, Ladd, Ladd. Um, Trust me, she's great. Um, Another genre I really enjoy is science fiction under certain circumstances. It has to be science fiction that is almost fantasy because I don't really particularly care for hard sci-fi. Hard sci-fi is so hard for me to understand. And I know I'm a woman, I don't get this kind of stuff. But no, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that I personally am very bad at math, and I'm not interested in science, and I'm not interested in space travel very much or anything like that. I prefer stories about people. The people of those worlds are what's important to me, not the gadgetry or being told that this species does this thing. Well, that's a little interesting if there's a member of that species present. I want to learn about people, about other races, and all sorts of new ways of being. That's what's interesting about sci-fi to me, not what the newest spaceship can do. It doesn't matter to me. Um, a genre of sci-fi I really enjoy is the humanity fuck yeah, which is basically where humans are the space orcs. We are the most badass species in the history of the galaxy, and every other species is nothing compared to us except that they are, because they're still people. They're people, and we fall in love with them, and we make friends with them, and we save their babies, and they save ours, and it's all about being people while also being incredibly strong. It's it's an amazing community. You can find it at on Reddit, and it's so awesome, especially the Jenkins verse, which you can find videos of me reading on a playlist here on my channel. So please check that out, because even if you don't like sci-fi, you'll like these stories. I guarantee it. Um, Another thing that I really enjoy, really like reading, is uh, how do I describe it? Um, well, basically, it's young adult books. I like YA books, especially ones written by Piers Anthony, Mercedes Lackey, Holly Black, various other authors that really don't try and understand the teenage spirit, but rather teaches them that they are people, not just teenagers. They are people and they are important. Because that's true. Teenagers are very important and they're people just like the rest of us, no matter what we treat them like. So there's that. And that's pretty much everything that I was going to talk about this time. I do not know what the next topic is going to be, but I will try and put it out sometime next week. Um, in the meantime, please go and take a look at Cervalos, Bria's, Brie, may contain Brie. Um, oh, hold on just a second. Camille, Robin, she has some really great stuff too. Sandra Bell is down below too, so is Star. And of course, Boo Boo Mon, who is his Brie. She's my muse. She's a sweetheart. You should definitely go take a look at hers too. Thank you very much for joining me for this particular video. I could not remember the word video for a second. That was fun. Thank you for joining me for this video and have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.